Hi, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of the Word Crash Course, and this is going to cover Microsoft Word styles. And in our document that we used in part 1, if you recall, we did in paragraph formatting. And that can be a good way to do things, but styles are sort of the next level up. And to get to them, you'll go to this button right here, and that'll give you the styles pane. When you first open it, it's going to look like this. And there's a chance it's going to be just kind of floating over here. And you'll just want to kind of throw it into the side of the monitor and it will dock. And I like to use this show preview button to make sure that I can see a little bit of an example for each style that I'm using. And all that a style is a pre-configured set of characteristics that you can give to a single paragraph. To make a style, you'll go down here and new style. And the way I like to do it is I like to pre-format the one I want, basically set all the settings up within my in paragraph formatting. And then when you press this button, they're already going to be there. For example, if I go into the paragraph button right here, you'll see that first line indent's applied in double space. And so what I'm going to do is give it a decently descriptive name. So body, double space, 0.5, first line. When you hit OK, now you have a style and it's ready to go. So the way I want to show you how this works is, let's say we have some more paragraphs like I created in the first video. And we want these to be looking like the rest up here. So all you have to do now is just go ahead and press the style and it will apply that to it. Now let's say I have, and if you can imagine, I'm going to make 5 more, but let's say you have 50 paragraphs. One of the neat keyboard shortcuts I want to show you is if you press body double space first line right here, now I'm going to press F4 going forward on my keyboard. So here I'm clicking F4. And that F4 works, and F4, the function for key, all that does is it repeats the last thing that you did. So let's say I delete something like I did just there. If I press F4, it's going to keep deleting. And I'll Control Z to get that back. So basically, one of the good ways to do it is to set up your styles over here, to make the styles that you need, and then exclusively use those for your paragraphs as well as for your headings. I will show how to make the heading styles in just a moment. If I need a block quotation, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to call this one block quotation. And then I can set that to be the style for my block quotations. Let's say this one's a block quotation. You can just press the style and you're ready to go. So now let's say I'm going to add, push that back. So I'm going to call this subsection. Now, of course, you're going to call it something else. And then down here, maybe I'm going to have a subsection. And that's going to be, I want to just put that on the left side. Now you can go up here, and the one thing I'll show you here is you can make a style. I'm going to call this GS1. You can call it what you like. I just use GS for graduate school. And one of the neat things is you can add formatting. So let's say I want that to be bold. It's going to give me a preview right there. And then I'm also going to want to go into my paragraph settings to make sure we've got level 1 applied. And I typically like to set headings because our guidelines ask if you have a subheading or a heading that goes longer than 1 line, that it be double spaced. So I'm going to do double space with 0 after. So you can configure after you've pressed this plus button down here. And now I've got level 1 of my outline. Now here I'm going to make level 2. One thing I'd like to mention is you can, if this style based on, essentially it forms hierarchies, and you don't need to think about it too much, but basing it on normal, which is normal is the default style that's used, basing it on normal is never a bad idea. It's always going to be okay if you do it that way. You won't have any sort of side effects or issues that come up. So I've got GS2, style based on normal. And now here's something neat. I'm going to set my style for the following paragraph to be the body paragraph. So I can just hit enter at the end of that, and it's going to turn into a body paragraph in the next paragraph. And I go up here, and the last thing I'm going to do is set this to be level 2. And we should be good to go. And there it is. So now, as I mentioned, now when I hit enter, you can see it goes to the body paragraph. And then now that we have a number of different styles, note how you can see it over here, what the style is, what's going on underneath the hood a little bit. And to modify a style, I'm going to go to this drop-down menu here, modify, and not there. Instead of GS1, I'm going to set this one to be followed by a body paragraph style as well. So it allows for a lot of customization. You can generally do what you like, and this is how. For this last one, we'll go GS3, give it a body paragraph to follow. And up here, I like to give it level 3 in my outline. And then because I forgot to do it, I'm going to modify this one to give it some bold. And there you go. So that's how styles work. And if you come over here and just do a quick look around, there's all kinds of different pre-built styles, and there's even some heading styles. I've always preferred, just personally, to use the GS1, 2, and 3. You could also choose to modify these styles just by going into modify and making them look like this and just going with what's built in. So that's kind of how you'd work with it. And on a very basic level, that's how you would start working with styles. There's more to it, but for what we're doing today for our crash course, that's what you really need. And you can always Google, because Microsoft Office has a lot of tutorials online that gives further information about how to manage some of those styles. But again, for what we're doing, what I've showed you is generally all you're really going to need.